right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
All right, welcome along to Patrick Christys tonight. Late edition, loads on, including this.
I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along.
Well, it's on the front of several front pages, as you would imagine. The West must not be cowed by Putin. But keep that on the screen, because this is the story that I really care about as well. Birmingham, where they've basically painted pretty much everything in the colours of the Pakistani flag. You're not allowed to have the St. George's flag now, because it might be unsafe. Unsafe. Gosh, well, there you go. More on that. Also, a bit of this. Yep, the Sun's front page, shock at this. So you might remember this particular individual from a former TikTok video where he was gloating in a migrant hotel and telling all of his mates to come across the channel. Well, some people at the Sun have done a bit of digging, and it turns out he also released a video on how to kill your wife. So maybe we should boot him out of Britain. What do you think? Also, fears for fat jabs. Yes, that's right. Prices are set to soar by 170% after President Trump demanded that the UK pays more. However, just sticking with this, good news, potentially, because earlier on in my show this evening, I revealed that in Wolverhampton, fat people have to pay more for bigger graves. So, saving money in the long run, aren't you there? Anyway, on the eve of VJ Day, the King is set to tell the nation that our World War II heroes will never be forgotten. You know, some 17,000 British and Commonwealth soldiers died in Japan. 12,000 of them, of course, were prisoners of war. I can't help but wonder whether or not, when you see the state of modern Britain, some people will think that's worth it. Plus, I'm assuming in there somewhere was Princess Anne, because that's who we're talking about. Happy birthday to our hardest working royal. Princess Anne celebrates her 75th birthday tomorrow. Making his debut on the show tonight is comedian Archie Manners. Welcome along, welcome along. We've also got, of course, the stalwart former Labour advisor Matthew Larser and former Tory MP, ray of sunshine, Anna Firth. Right, let's get headlines before we get stuck into tomorrow's front pages.
Patrick, thank you. The top stories: European leaders, including Sir Keir Starmer, could attend a second meeting with Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky, which could bring the war in Ukraine to an end, the US president has said this evening. On the eve of the summit, Mr Trump said leaders from Europe, which could include members of the so-called coalition of the willing that have supported Ukraine, could attend a subsequent meeting if the event in Alaska tomorrow is successful. Sir Keir Starmer and Volodymyr Zelensky said earlier today there's a strong resolve for peace in Ukraine ahead of the talks between Mr Trump and President Putin. The Prime Minister hosted the Ukrainian president for a private breakfast in number 10. Donald Trump said this evening he believes Putin and Zelensky will make peace.
We have a meeting with President Putin tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good meeting, but the more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having. We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelensky, myself, and maybe we'll bring some of the European leaders along, maybe not. I don't know that it's going to be very important. We're going to see what happens. And I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along. And if they can, it'll be great.
On the eve of the 80th anniversary of VJ Day, the King is set to tell the nation our World War II heroes will never be forgotten. In an audio message to the nation, King Charles will reflect on the horrors experienced by prisoners of war and innocent civilians of occupied lands in the region whose suffering reminds us that war's true cost extends beyond battlefields, touching every aspect of life. VJ Day on August the 15th marks the anniversary of Japan's surrender to the Allies following the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. Effectively ending the Second World War. The Prime Minister hosted a commemorative reception in the Downing Street Garden.
We say we pay respects. That's what we mean by that, because we are exercising those freedoms every day because of what they did and the sacrifices that they make. And that, in a way, is the lesson that we carry with us today. It's the lesson that we must hold up every day. Our duty is to honour that sacrifice with every new generation. And that's what it means when we say we will never forget.
And a new photograph of the Princess Royal has been released to mark her 75th birthday. Buckingham Palace released a new picture of her ahead of her birthday on Friday. The photograph was captured last month at Gatcombe Park, Princess Anne's private residence and equestrian estate in Gloucestershire. The official portrait, taken by celebrated photographer John Swannell last month, shows Anne wearing a clean-lined, colour-blocked royal blue dress. And those are the latest headlines for now. It's time for Patrick.
Tune into GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Welcome along to Late Edition. There really is, genuinely, and I actually mean this time, a great set of front pages to get stuck into here. So the Metro have gone for cost of fat jabs triples. So apparently, due to essentially something that President Trump is doing by increasing the cost of fat jabs for foreign people, specifically in Britain, you're going to have to pay a lot more if you want to stop eating. And the I, students face yearly tuition fee hike to bail out struggling universities. But can I just say, there's several bits of lunacy in that headline. It's us paying it. It's student loans. You are paying it to bail out struggling universities that have acted as silos for illegal immigration so they can wheel out people with a degree in underwater basket weaving for the last however many years. Complete shockers. Let them go to the wall. Right, the Independent. The hug that tells Trump we've got Zelensky's back. Sir Keir Starmer hugging a Ukrainian president there outside Downing Street. The Daily Express are VJ Day heroes. Yes, this is a very big story. It's VJ Day 80 years, and the Daily Express have got a big pull-out section as well inside, as well as some of the moving human stories there on the front. And the Mirror have gone for a very similar feel. I actually really must say I think the Daily Mirror have probably got the front page of the day in an aesthetic sense, definitely, in a poignancy sense. Thank you, they say. It's the VJ Day heroes. heroes, and they've got kind of pictures of men, and I'm just looking. I think it is just men, yes, who were fighting at the time, and then obviously them in more recent times. The Daily Mail, fat jab price soars after Trump threat. The Times, Trump eyes economic incentive for Putin. This is, I think, just giving him minerals. The Guardian, Putin is ready to make a deal, says Trump. And the Telegraph, the West must not be cowed by Putin. But the story I'm really interested in on the Daily Telegraph there is actually the one about how in Birmingham you're going to take down the St George's flag because it might pose a risk. But, of course, you can literally paint the entire city into Pakistan. So, great. The Sun, now boot him out. This is the illegal migrant who previously posted a video urging everybody else to come to Britain illegally, has now done a video where he teaches you how to kill your wife. So, he's from Afghanistan, by the way. Right. Let's get my panel's views on this. Former Conservative MP, top Tory, Anna Firth. We've got former Labour advisor Matthew Larser, a comedian making his debut on the show tonight, Archie Manners. Anna, can I start with you on the front page of The Sun? Let's deal with that first. The Sun's front page. Our friend from Afghanistan. What should we do with him?
Yeah, well, obviously he should be deported. The problem we've got is he's coming from Afghanistan, and since the Taliban, came back, we don't have any returns agreement with them. So this is a simple case of plane parachute drop.
Yeah, right, I see, yes. But I would argue, just Matthew, just on this, I'm kind of half joking here, but, like, his views seem like they would fit in rather well with the Taliban.
Well, yeah, you may think that. One way out is apparently he filmed the video in Germany. So if the Germans might want to extradite him to prosecute him for that, maybe we get him out that way.
Because the Germans are sending people to Afghanistan.
And they are, yeah.
My father's just texted desperately trying to find the video, actually. He's just said, where is it? I'm looking for a tip. Of course, the problem with this is, does it only work once? Because if he's from the Taliban, he'll obviously have more than one wife, potentially.
Yeah.
Getting away with murder more than once. Yeah. He's got 70,000 followers, which makes him more successful than most GB News presenters, actually. So
it's true.
I think possibly we should get him a brand deal, and I think he could be the next kind of Bonnie Blue figure. We can have an interview by Julie Hartley-Brewer. I'm all in favour of this.
Or the face of Holiday Inn.
This is good content. Yeah, exactly. He can premiere on Holiday Inn. I think this is good luck to the guy, and I wish him well. Social media influencing is a tough job. I used to do it. I don't anymore. So, this is the next generation.
Do you not thought maybe...
Well, I never offered to kill someone's wife, which was a mistake.
No.
Why is it only estranged wives?
Yeah.
I don't know, yeah. I don't
Well, it's honour-based violence. See, this is the thing. I'm sorry, but I know we're all kind of, like, joking a little bit because it's nuts.
Well, you have to laugh at it.
But I love Matthew's suggestion that we deport him to Germany, and that he goes from Germany. But won't they smell a rat?
Well, they might want to prosecute. I mean, yes, possibly. But we can try, Anna. We can but try.
No, but this points out, when people say that, like, oh, my gosh, the Afghans are just like us, aren't they? And then you're like, well... Actually, we know now that the stats about their proclivity for especially sexual-based violence, but also honour violence, and here we are, like night follows day, an Afghan in a migrant hotel who's previously recorded a video about how to kill your estranged wives. I mean, that's honour violence, isn't it? Right, and it's literally
The other big story, obviously, is that the taxpayers are paying for the Wi-Fi in the hotel, because otherwise how did he upload it? And I've found that to be very expensive.
Yes.
He shouldn't. I mean, this is back to one of the fundamental problems. He should not be in a hotel. Some of these hotels are four-star hotels, like the one in Canary Wharf. They cost hundreds of pounds, and of course they're unavailable to people coming to the country for meetings because we're filling them with migrants. It's completely ridiculous. And actually, I say bring back the Bibi Stockholm, because it was 50 quid a night. It was used in Germany for 4 years for asylum seekers, no problem there. It was used by Petrofac for UK British workers. They didn't complain about it. Why don't we do something similar? Bring it back.
I'd just rather we got rid of people.
Well,
we could put on the Bibi Stockholm and then just set it free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just cut them.
We actually could.
But seriously though, there is a much wider point here, which is we happen to know about this guy because he's got 70,000 TikTok followers and he's handily made us a video showing us what a complete and utter monster he is. But how many other people are there just in these hotels who, like, think it's fine to kill your ex-wife?
Well, we also had the OnlyFans one a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
Man or woman?
I can't remember, actually.
Not sure it matters, but it would be nice to know.
But I think it was a man.
People are paying.
Because they're almost all... I mean, the vast majority are either men or there's some families. There are very few single women in migrants on the boats. And then they were found to be making a saucy video for OnlyFans, which, for those who don't know, is like YouTube, but for naughty things.
For sex.
Amazing.
Right. Gosh, did you ever try that? I know you said that you didn't.
I've never had an OnlyFans. I did in my former career as a YouTuber. There's a lot of these TikTokers are people offering their services in France, smugglers using TikTok to advertise. So I have a contact on my phone called Mr. Smuggler, who I got in touch with and nearly met in Calais until my insurance company said, "No way are you going over to go meet them." But they're using TikTok massively as well as a way of monetising and getting the word out amongst those in the camps to come across.
And it's about holding the social media companies to account. I mean,
it's impossible for them to do that.
I know, but Trump is about to nationalise the American bit of TikTok. Maybe there's some lessons for here.
Yeah, possibly. Let's just do another front page now, because I get this sense that on a lot of GB News shows tomorrow we're going to be talking about that chap from Afghanistan who is sadly here now. But the Daily Telegraph has got the main story, of course, is about the potential the meeting between Trump and Putin tomorrow. However, there's a story towards the bottom of the Daily Telegraph tomorrow, which is about in Birmingham. They are telling people that you've got to take down the St. George's flag, which people had done like to strap to lampposts and stuff, to commemorate VJ Day, which is, going to just remind people, I think 71,000 British and Commonwealth lives lost in Japan, 12,000 of them prisoners of war, some of the most grotesque and disgusting prisoner of war conditions that anyone can ever imagine. So the council said, no, you can't put the St. George's flag up there. However, we have celebrated, or some people have, Pakistan Independence Day. Quite a lot in places, in Birmingham. They lit up Birmingham Library. The council can't take your bins out, by the way, but they can light up the library and the Pakistani flag. There it is, so that's good, nice. And there's some footage, I don't know whether the one we're going to play you is in Birmingham or whether it's in... this is Wilmslow Road in Manchester, by the way, just to show you. There were similar scenes in Birmingham, but if I didn't tell you this was Wilmslow Road in Manchester, where do you think this was? Yeah, I mean, Britain, eh? So, what do you think, Archie, about...
Well, I mean, they're saying that these flags are putting motorists at risk. They're dangerous. They're 25 foot up in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's that tall. What I don't understand. I don't really understand it.
No, but I think what they're saying...
I know it's a cross, which I guess is dangerous, but...
I think maybe what we have to accept is they're not being entirely honest with us.
Really, Patrick?
Yeah,
no, you shot me.
I
think allegedly is the word you're looking for.
But they say that it might fall onto a car and blind the driver. And,
it would appear, because there are a large number of Palestine flags across the city of Birmingham, that perhaps those same concerns about driver safety haven't been exercised in quite the same way. Two-tier flags.
Two-tier flags. And 4 months of Palestinian flags, and not a single one has dropped from the lamppost and blinded a driver or caused any sort of health and safety. No, that is complete and utter baloney. I mean, there is no reason whatsoever why these people who want to put out our flag in order to celebrate VJ Day, tens of thousands of people from Birmingham were involved in the Pacific War. The celebrations that they had in Birmingham 80 years ago are, something to be behold. Actually, in terms of numbers, they're quite similar to the ones you've actually shown us. But those were British people who were celebrating our heroes, and they should have our flag up. And in fact, the government's own website says that the flag is something of joy and pride, and we should all be flying more flags.
I mean, Birmingham Council would say that they fly the flag regularly, but this is unofficial. But
talking of flying the flag, sorry, we can go to Birmingham now, and this, I think, was the Lord Mayor.
But this is Birmingham, UK, is it?
Yes.
Not one like in Alabama or anything.
No.
I don't think they get away with that in Birmingham, Alabama, to be honest.
So that's so great. We'll make a massive song and dance over that. I don't know.
I think celebrating the flag of a country which has where any LGBT activity, any lesbian or gay activity is illegal, for example, is not great. This is not about celebrating.
Let's just give Birmingham independence.
This is about celebrating a country. This is a political statement about a country which has many human rights questions.
I don't understand why anyone would want to celebrate Pakistan Independence Day when what they've done with that independence is allow unbelievable, horrific crimes against women, the massive issues with child sexual exploitation in Pakistan, huge problems with it. They harboured Osama bin Laden for goodness knows how many years. You know, you said homosexuality is illegal over there. Why would you want to? Sorry, why? I don't know. Why
Because
would you
it's
want
not
to
about
celebrate
celebrating people's, religion or people's heritage. It's about celebrating a country and the birth of a state. Right. I mean, I don't think we have this on St David's Day and St Andrew's Day in Birmingham either. So, look, I can tell you that in Downing Street they'll be hopping mad at the activities of the Birmingham Labour Council, which is a crisis. Yes, they will.
I don't think he'll give us stuff.
Oh, no,
he's been hanging out. He's been getting intimate, hugging a much younger Ukrainian man this afternoon. I don't think he's at all bothered about that.
Well, we'll come on to the story about Volodymyr Zelensky shortly. But yeah.
The mug is...
I think the Birmingham residents are going to be more outraged, frankly. The number 10 should be outraged, but they're not paying the council tax.
No.
People in Birmingham's council tax is going up and up and up. Bins aren't being collected, and yet we've got all this lighting up.
Good for Jezbollah, won't it? Or your party, whatever it's called.
That's what it's all about.
Let's be very good for that.
That's exactly what it's all about.
That's what it all comes down.
I mean, it's cynical. Yeah. It's cynical community politics, and it's not on.
It's practically tribal, isn't it? Really? I mean, it's like.
Unless they were community.
Yeah. Well, OK. Anyway, right, coming up, on the front of, as Archie was alluding to there, on the front of several newspapers, it's the Trump, Zelensky, Putin and Starmer story, really, that's doing the rounds. So we are going to be joined shortly by a former US intelligence officer to talk President Trump's meeting with Putin tomorrow in Alaska. Do we think we are finally going to get an end to this war in Ukraine? Stay tuned.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm Michelle Dewberry, and this is GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Oh, yes, I've got a bit of an update on this. So, you know, Steve Jobs' daughter is getting married this weekend. We talked about it earlier on in the week.
Yes,
Eve Jobs.
They're hiring the entire Cotswolds.
Yeah, we've got more details now.
Oh.
They're taking over the village of Great Chew. And apparently the budget is said to be $5 million. Could be a lot more, though.
$5 million?
Yeah,
because the papers were saying 50 million the other day.
$5 million could be higher.
For them.
But the high-end guest list includes Camilla Harris, Bono, the Kardashians and Princess Beatrice. Rumours as well that David Cameron's been invited.
Oh. But they can't know all these people.
They've invited 500 people. So it's a big wedding.
It's just like...
Apparently the village is in lockdown.
No, it will be.
Yeah, and they're going to Estelle Manor afterwards, which is a big, like, Jacobean manor house in the Cotswolds. Oh. And they've got sniffer dogs out already.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Of all those people, I bet they only know Bono.
But didn't you think...
Everybody knows Bono, don't they?
Well, no, but at least he was involved with Apple. He must have known Steve Jobs.
Was he involved with Apple?
Yeah, because they had all the... Do you remember they had the U2 exclusive iPods and things
of course. Yeah.
So he must have known... So he probably knew her as a kid.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to give away Apple products.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. You know the
goodie bag. You'll get a goodie bag.
At the end, yeah, like an iPad or
a... got a goodie bag at your wedding.
Or a MacBook. I know, but you had the free-flowing rosé, which you don't drink.
I don't drink.
Anyway. Did you not try the non-alcoholic version?
Of rosé?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was one.
I covered all fronts.
I didn't know there was one.
Oh, well, you missed out.
I had some non-alcoholic beers.
Well, good. I did provide.
GB News, the People's Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in, and stay ahead.
Welcome back. Well, there we go. Immediately, we can show you some of tomorrow's newspaper front pages or Friday's front pages. And there are a lot of them about the Ukraine, Russia, Trump issue. The hug that tells Trump we've got Zelensky's back. That was Sir Keir Starmer embracing Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the steps of Downing Street, walked up to him, just cuddled him. PM signals Europe's commitment to secure a fair settlement for Ukraine. There's also, as well, the Times. Trump eyes economic incentive for Putin. You know, whether or not international affairs is your thing, wherever you stand on the Ukraine-Russia issue, the fact is that tomorrow is going to be dominating the news. Trump eyes economic incentives for Putin. The US president highlights oil and gas before the talks. Look, I just wanted a little bit more detail on this, really, because, like I said, it's going to be huge news out of Alaska. President Trump went on to speak of the difficulty, though, that he's had in achieving peace so far, because, you know, he was saying, wasn't he, has he been mugged off a bit by Putin? Where's he going to stand? Is it all Biden's fault? Here we go.
I thought this would be maybe an easier one. It never made sense, this war. It would have never happened when I was president. If I were president, this war would have never happened. But millions of people have been killed. And I'm there for one reason, to see if I can solve. This was Biden's war. This isn't my war. I want to see if I can stop the killing.
Well, joining us now is Rebecca Koffler, former US intelligence officer and author of Putin's Playbook. And I believe as well, I've just been told, Rebecca, I think you've got an article in the Daily Telegraph tomorrow, actually, on this. So there we go. Would you mind just telling us what we can expect tomorrow with this Trump-Putin meeting?
Well, first, I'm going to tell you what we should not expect, and that is a peace deal in Ukraine. That is absolutely out of the question. Why is that? It's because the two positions of Moscow and Washington are essentially irreconcilable. So what we could expect is that there will be a roadmap, a phased approach on how to repair the Russian-U.S. relations. This is what Putin wants. He wants to undo everything what happened previously during former President Biden's presidency, and he wants to repair those relations. President Trump, however, I expect him to be quite impatient because he's a doer. He wants results. Unfortunately, President Trump is in a situation that he was placed in by the previous administration, where the war is unwinnable. And Putin does not trust us because the U.S. has changed positions multiple times. First, we provide weapons, then we don't provide, then we provide it again. So, but it's a good thing that they are talking, because we are avoiding World War III and nuclear war. So it's a good thing that they are meeting.
Well, as the author of Putin's Playbook, can I ask, did you meet Putin at all?
I've never met Putin, but I spent years on this intelligence target in DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency. It's a military counterpart to the CIA. Right. So I participated in and I led red teams in multiple war games. I briefed President Obama's White House. I briefed NATO in 2013, just months prior to Putin's invasion of Ukraine. I laid out at the classified level to NATO members. There was, at that time, it was 28 of them, what Putin's plans were, the whole warfighting strategy, and yet, unfortunately and regretfully for Ukraine, no one wanted to develop a counter strategy to Putin. But if anybody is interested, I have an article in the Telegraph describing what strategy should have been developed that would have prevented the invasion.
Well, give me the scoop now, because all we will have here in Britain is the front page of the Daily Telegraph, and I want my viewers and my listeners to be able to hear it from you first. So what does it say inside Friday's Daily Telegraph that you have written about that strategy? Go on.
So there's an article that I wrote that says Putin cannot fight indefinitely, but he doesn't have to. Why doesn't he have to? Because from the combat potential standpoint, combat potential is calculated as a combination of the size of the armed forces, the size of the weapons arsenal, the military-industrial complex's ability to scale up production of military hardware to achieve victory, and defense economics. Russia beats Ukraine hands down. There's an overwhelming strategic advantage. They have more weapons, they have more. But not only that, right now, Russia produces more military hardware in 3 months than entire Europe produces in 1 year. And so, therefore, Putin has calculated that eventually, and pretty soon, the Russians believe that Ukraine and the West are going to give up. And that's why he's going to play very hard ball tomorrow with President Trump, because Putin believes he holds all the cards. President Trump is going to think about his economic approach. That's what I expect, that secondary sanctions are really going to be on the table, and Trump is probably going to threaten Putin with that. But Putin's decision calculus on Ukraine, which historically is part of Russia's strategic security perimeter that they rely on centuries. So sanctions are still not going to do the trick, because Putin's decision calculus is based on security concerns and not on economic concerns. And the Russians, culturally, they simply have higher tolerance for inconveniences, for casualties, for economic limitations, for shortages, and not that sort of thing. But again, I'd like to stress that it's a good thing that they're meeting, because we've narrowly avoided nuclear Armageddon during Biden's presidency, because he kept expanding the scope and scale of weapons to provided to Putin. And Ukrainians actually struck strategic nuclear triad that belongs to Russia, you know, the strategic bomber. And that's when we were super, super close to a nuclear war, just like we were back in 1983. So that's kind of in a nutshell, but I can go on for hours with you on that.
Well, it's a complex issue. One of the things that you have articulated there is, as interesting as it all is how complex it is. So, Rebecca, look, thank you so much. I look forward to tomorrow anyway, reading what you've said in full in the Daily Telegraph. That is Rebecca Koffler, former US intelligence officer, author of Putin's Playbook. Well, look, I mean, here we are. We'll find out tomorrow where we were going to get some extraordinary footage, I would think, of Putin and Trump in Alaska. I mean, Archie, what's your gut telling you about Ukraine? Do you just want it to be over?
Why would they kill him?
Putin?
Yeah, he's going to be there. I mean, at least, joking apart, why not arrest him? If he's going to be in Alaska, can we not, like the mighty American military, not just get rid of him?
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought so. I
wonder if there's a secret plan. He's going to be executed.
You don't think that might leave a bit of a power vacuum?
It may
lead to repercussions.
But it would make tomorrow's headline review a lot funnier, wouldn't it? There'd be a lot to stop. Putin was executed.
I thought Trump was trying to stop World War III.
Well, yes, I don't know. We've had the audiobook version from the expert, but if Putin was killed tomorrow, that would be extraordinary, wouldn't it?
We actually...
And you heard it first here.
Well, actually, the GBNews Westminster studios are 2 floors up from the Prime Minister's nuclear bunker.
Yeah.
So we could finally live in a world where potentially GBNews will be the only broadcast.
Yes, we could put you in a military uniform. This is not a coup.
This is not a coup.
I'd have to be the go-between.
It's happening.
Patrick Christys, can we have some food?
It's finally happening. But please, if anyone is out there, send food. I'm hungry.
I think the reality is it's not going to be making peace tomorrow, but I think it's going to be very entertaining to watch.
The thing is, the risk that I think there is to this is that if Putin completely mugs off Trump, what does President Trump do? Because it would be quite embarrassing. It would be very embarrassing for him. He's already, I think, coming around to the idea that maybe Putin hasn't responded to him in the way that he might have thought or might have hoped. And, OK, that's that. And if he decides to come to some deal, the world is watching, like the absolute world is watching.
Sowing the ground for failure. He's already said there's a 25% chance it won't happen. That's very un-Trump. Trump is to kind of already...
But let's say they shake hands on something, the world's press is there, and he goes, oh, Vladimir, you know, we've agreed that this won't happen. And then whilst Putin's flying back, it happens.
Which is what will happen.
Yeah.
That's most likely.
Then, like, why does Trump respond to that? I mean, he's got to go big, hasn't he?
Yeah, actually, I think, obviously our fear was that Trump would go small, as it were, and withdraw his support, but actually he may have to up it as a result of his potential humiliation.
It's always been obvious. Zelensky has said it right from the very beginning that this deal is worth nothing without an absolute guarantee from Trump that if Putin defaults, there will be huge repercussions.
Is Trump ready to do that?
Trump would have to. Well, he'd have to step up, wouldn't he?
Well, I do think that one of the problems that Europe has got is that the Americans feel as though we don't care about ourselves and that we've done nothing to preserve European culture. In fact, we've done a lot to ruin it over the course of the last 15 to 20 years. And if we can't be bothered to look after ourselves, then why should the US look after us for us? And that's going to be a very difficult thing to come back from.
I wonder what gifts they'll give each other as well.
And is JD Vance still going to be in the Cotswolds having breakfast with some Tory
illegal fisherman David
Kemi sadly can't make it. She's very busy doing her hair.
Is she?
Yeah, she can't make it. Can't meet the Vice President. Not because she wasn't invited.
It's a shame, isn't it?
I think she has met him.
She has met him before.
They're mates.
They're best mate. He's done 4,000 miles, and she just couldn't make the time. Hate it when that happens.
Yeah. You've got to remind you that George Osborne. The Chancellor of the austerity era was apparently he's the one who was responsible for deciding who JD Vance did and did not meet.
This is the front page of the Times. It's the top right-hand corner, and I must say there's two names in that I don't like. Both Fraser Nelson and George Osborne.
You're OK with the word schmoozer there? You don't mind?
Yeah, schmoozer, yeah.
Schmoozer.
And Nigel Farage wants some peers. And I think you should support this, Patrick, because you'd be a very high candidate for that.
To be a reform...
Lord Christys of Paddington.
Do you think...
I can see...
Lord Christys of Wilmslow.
You look very good in the ermine. You could,
Do you think so?
Wouldn't you be... Where'd you come from, though, Patrick?
Wilmslow.
Wilmslow, in Birmingham.
No.
Cheshire.
Wilmslow's Cheshire. It's footballer's wife's country.
Of course you come from Cheshire. You were talking about being educated earlier.
Yeah.
The road in Birmingham.
Which is hard to believe that I was educated, but I was, and...
but yeah, one of the finest schools in the land.
Founded in 1515, Manchester Grammar School, school for boys. Right, and producers of great talents like, I think now, Michael Atherton, Patrick Stewart?
No, he didn't go there.
No? I don't know, anyway.
We'll look it up on Wikipedia.
Faisal Islam, Michael Crick. So, not all good. But there we go. All right, OK, we're going to move on now. And when we come back from there's a lot more to talk about. Fat jabs are going to hike in price, so we might talk about that. Also, of course, big VJ Day commemorations. 80 years on since VJ Day. People, it often goes under the radar, often quite forgotten about. We focus very much on VE Day, don't we? But, VJ Day, 71,000 British and Commonwealth soldiers sadly lost their lives, defending, beating the Japanese and making sure that we could live in this beautiful country. So there we go. Right, stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. It's going to be much more settled during the next 24 hours. Showers and thunderstorms easing, mostly dry and hot again in the south, albeit cooler across northern parts of the UK, having seen some thundery showers developing through the day. They're tending to ease now as we head into the hours of darkness, and for most of the UK it's drier. Clear spells for many, but some areas of cloud around, particularly for northwest England, parts of North Wales, more especially northern and eastern Scotland, where there'll be some low cloud covering the hills and bringing misty conditions to the coast. A few spots of rain out of that cloud overnight, otherwise it's a fine start to Friday. A warm night and a warm start for the south in particular on Friday morning. Plenty of sunshine and temperatures soon rising up to 20 degrees in places by 7 or 8 a.m. Some areas of cloud around, but for many it is a bright start to the day. Northern Ireland seeing plenty of sunshine, likewise for the central belt. But for much of central Scotland into the east of Scotland, northeast England, we will see this area of low cloud that's going to tend to drift southwards through the day to affect parts of East Yorkshire into the Lincolnshire coast, Norfolk perhaps by the afternoon. That's going to make it feel much cooler, and we'll have this onshore breeze with it. But where we've got the sunshine and lighter winds elsewhere, it's hotter once again, high 20s, low 30s in the south, cooler for northern parts of the UK, more like low 20s. The low cloud in the North Sea tends to creep back inland overnight, and it will be with us first thing Saturday, fairly extensively, I suspect, through the morning, burning back towards the east as the day progresses, but a rather cloudy picture, I think, for eastern parts of the UK on Saturday. Much sunnier towards the west and southwest, and that's where the highest temperatures will be through Saturday and Sunday.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dewbs Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back. OK, so we have got a couple of big stories for you now that are on the front page of tomorrow's newspapers as well, Friday's newspapers, involving the royals. So firstly, King Charles is set to address the nation tomorrow, which will be Friday if you're watching us in the morning, of course, on the repeat, to mark 80 years since victory over Japan in World War II. It's going to be an audio address, and it'll be on Friday morning, so we'll be taking that, obviously, as we get it here at GB News. His Majesty is set to say, our VJ heroes shall never be forgotten, telling the nation they gave us more than freedom. They left us the example of how it can and must be protected. Joining me now is former butler to the King, is Grant Harold. Grant, thank you very, very much. Tremendous to see you as always. So the King will be taking this very, very seriously, I suppose, the VJ Day heroes.
Absolutely, and Patrick, as I've heard, it's a 6-minute recording that was done at Clarence House, and it's going to very much kind of mirror some of the words of his grandfather, George VI. But this is something he's very passionate about, and obviously he's served in the armed forces, he's got background within the armed forces, he's the head of the armed forces, and so this is very important to him. And I understand he's going to be involved in some commemorations tomorrow as well.
Yeah, yes, he will be. Do you suppose we have any idea about how he's getting on health-wise? It's an audio message from what I gather, so it's not a video message. It's a little bit strange, isn't it? Or am I missing something?
I don't think it's hugely unusual. I mean, in the past, he's done audio recordings instead of visual, but I mean, as far as I'm aware, he's doing okay. I mean, he's still fighting it, thankfully, and kind of getting on with the duty at hand. The thing is, Patrick, the thing about him, we'll never really know to the extent of how ill or how well he is, because he is private, but at the same time, he could be extremely ill, but he will not let anything stop him. He's got quite an amazing inner determination. And speaking to some of my former colleagues, they've said that he's soldiering on. Literally, he's just getting on with the job at hand.
Exactly. Well, let's just move on quickly to Princess Anne, because it's her 75th birthday, isn't it? Now, talking of hard-working royals, I mean, she is often called the hardest working royal, I think, Grant.
Yes.
Have you come into contact much with her? What's she like?
Oh, yes, I have. She is. Last year, she did 475 engagements, and she's patron of between 300 and 400 charities. I mean, she's one of the hardest working royals. She's great fun, but she doesn't mix her words. She always reminded me a mix of her mother, but also of her father, and you never want to get on the wrong side of it. I remember once, way back in the early days when I first started working for the King, and I picked up the phone and thinking it was the Buckingham Palace switchboard, and this voice said Princess Anne, and I remember saying, yes, that's fine, and again, Princess Anne, and I said, I can deal with her, put her through, and I remember the voice saying, this is Princess Anne, and I was in such a shock that she was on the phone. I put the phone down, which I was told you should never do to a member of the royal family. But she was great fun. She was always great to be around, and she's very close to her brother, very close. A great support to him as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, look, Grant, thank you so much. I know it's a bit short and sweet, but we've got quite a lot to get through and cram in on this show because we've got all the front pages as well. So it's brilliant stuff, though. I could listen to your anecdotes all night. Former butler to the King and also as well confidant of Princess Anne, Grant Harold. Right, well, look, we will kind of, I think...
That's not good enough, is it? An audio message for VJ Day. I mean, come on. The Queen would never have done an audio message, would she?
Well, she would have done before the invention of cams, probably. I think it's fair to say. The radio address was a thing.
Before it was possible to do the TV.
Yeah.
But she would have done a proper TV message.
I think it could have been a TV message, but it doesn't matter how early it is or not, because they can just kick him up in makeup. So he'd have done an audio... He's done lots of these audio messages lately. It's easier.
I do think I'm getting a bit of this information through in my ear as well, because to be fair, they do tend to try to keep some of the King's plans a bit secret. I think he is at a live event tomorrow. I think a commemoration.
He's out and about.
Ah, so you think that was a tease?
Out and about.
I think he's trailing. I think he's a little minx. He's teasing us.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I mean, look, we'll see. Hey, the only way to find out, or the only way I would do it, is to stay tuned to GBNews then, because as you would imagine, if it's being released in the morning, the audio message, it may well come with a video message. We'll wait and see. We're also going to be seeing the King out and about at these commemorations for VJ Day. Just on that, just remind ourselves. I think the Daily Mirror has got front page of the day. Just pictures before we move on to some of the other stories there.
It's really interesting that the two papers who have gone on VJ Day are the two papers with the biggest sellers in the Second World War, the Daily Express and the Daily Mirror, now in the same company, which they certainly weren't then. But yeah, absolutely.
That's a really interesting little piece of media trivia, that.
It does look like a before and after of a Labour government, though, doesn't it?
Well, they...
Sort of, you know...
I love that, and I love the souvenir pullouts with the reprints of the papers from the day.
I think these guys look so much better than a Labour government.
Yeah, they do.
They're all very handsome. Have we got uglier as a country?
You're right there, isn't it?
I think we have. None of us look as good and chiselled as these gentlemen.
Both of them have got a free souvenir pull-out inside, the Express and the Mirror. Which I think we'll have a lot of tremendous photos.
And reprinted, yeah, absolutely. And of course, the famous 1945 Labour government had just been elected.
It'll be, you're right, by the way, sorry, it'll be reprinted front pages of years gone by, won't it, as well?
Yeah, which I think are great.
During the war. This is the day of VJ Day. This was the front page
this is how we marked
ago.
It, yeah.
Yeah, it's good, that. It's
worth getting in print, even if you normally read online.
It's true. Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, they are iconic. I don't want to get too kind of misty-eyed about it, but those kind of headlines are seriously iconic stuff. It's genuine history, isn't it?
It's not a day for Taylor Swift, though, is it, actually?
I don't think her PR firm were that worried about that. I think they were brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's really interesting that the Sun has gone for Taylor Swift over
our war heroes.
Our war heroes.
I don't get that.
It's a good point, this, actually.
What's she doing?
It's a good point. I mean, of course, we've got...
I know we're turning this into a media studies lesson.
No, but it's true. It's interesting to actually analyse what papers have done what. The Daily Mail, as well, have gone for Taylor Swift and fat jabs. Yeah. The Sun, I get the idea of them obviously going for this monster that we've got at Margaret Hotel. But Taylor Swift thing, I mean, come on.
I think it's a bit of a shame because obviously a lot of people who fought in the Far East campaign, they regarded themselves as the forgotten army, and they've been forgotten by quite a few of the papers.
No surprise the Guardian's forgotten. I mean, of course, I'm agreed. But anyway, the Guardian, All right, let's whiz ourselves on because when we come back, I do want to talk about the fat jab prices. They've gone through the roof. They're going through the roof, apparently. I think only if you decide to go privately for your fat jabs, though. So.
Years worth of max dosage.
Well, you look like you've been on them for about 20 years.
Bad news for Robert Henry.
Right, yeah, good. Which he denies. Stay tuned.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure. And no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GBNews Travel Destinations Forecast.
The summer heat wave continues across much of Europe, particularly inland France, Spain and Portugal, where we're likely to see temperatures in the mid to low 40s. And with these high temperatures, we are set to see plenty of sunshine, but slightly different story as we move our way eastwards across the Mediterranean. At times, this heat is likely to produce some quite heavy, if not thundery showers across parts of Italy. And that is set to continue over the weekend, and the hot temperatures are here to stay.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GBNews Travel Destinations Forecast.
Wake up with a familiar face. She's back on breakfast television. Penny Smith returns.
Miss me? Well, I'm here and I brought the coffee.
And we're reuniting to brighten your morning.
It's just like old times, only better.
So join Penny and me next Monday and Tuesday only on GB News Breakfast.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dewbs Co weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Late Edition. Let's talk about fat jabs, because they're on the front of two newspapers tomorrow. The Daily Mail's Friday edition leads with fat jab price... Sorry, the Metro as well, of course. Cost of fat jabs to triple, but the Daily Mail also goes for fat jab price soars after Trump threat. Cost of Manjaro up 170% as President demands the UK pays more. Matthew, why is he picking on us?
Yes, I've been working on this all day because I work with a group that represents thousands of Britain's pharmacies, and this is actually a real threat to our pharmacies. And I actually also want to get on them. So about a week ago, Trump... oh, you're very kind. About a week ago, Trump, at the White House press conference, revealed Trump had written to the bosses of all the US drug companies saying, start charging more for your drugs outside of the States so you can bring down the prices of your pharmaceuticals here. And one of the levers that the drug companies have, obviously, they have deals with healthcare systems around the world, but this is for people to get them privately in Britain, so they have more than double the price.
So get them now.
Yeah, basically get them now, because...
Get on them.
Because the fact that people are going private on fat jabs is saving pharmacies up and down the country who are facing the squeeze, as it's been a good source of revenue, and this may well cut it off.
It's also bad for private healthcare because, of course, the thinner you get, then you're not going to get ill. And if you're a private healthcare company, illness is like you need lots of that. So they want to charge more, so that then, because otherwise people are going to get fewer cancers, and then they can't make money out of that.
I see.
There's always a second-order consequence.
So there's a big pharma conspiracy.
There's a big pharma
here.
conspiracy to get us
and
all...
not one involving a big farmer.
No, not
because
a
they
massive
pay
farmer.
extra for their grave, as we know.
Yeah.
But the other thing to say is that the NHS, buried in the details, the NHS has done a deal with the drug company over this.
Right.
We don't yet know how much more than it's already paying.
Well, as long as this Labour government hasn't negotiated the deal, then it
has.
Right.
So many people are
but
on
not
this.
David Lammy.
OK. Go on, what's your view? I'm sorry, I've not come to you on this.
I think surely this could be a massive opportunity for the UK or for other countries, because if Trump is going to put these up through the roof, then there's an opportunity for another
And we've got enough fatties, haven't we?
Another provider.
You think it might spur innovation?
Could it be an Oxford-AstraZeneca moment?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad for inflation because so many people are on this that it's not going to be long until we have to include it in the basket of goods.
That's a very good point.
So if it's going up by 170%, it's going to boost our inflation figures enormously.
Didn't someone tell me there's 1 million on it? I mean, there are 68...
1 million just on Monjaro.
Well, sorry, and also
Okay.
that's the people who admit it as well.
But there's
I just look at everyone now, I'm like, you're on it.
68 million people in the country, so I don't think everyone is on this.
No, most people are. I think if in doubt, fatty, on it. No one loses weight. OK, it's bad news for gyms, it's bad news for personal trainers.
Yeah.
Most people are just
I've seen
jabby,
people recently
shrinky.
trying to claim like, oh no, I'm doing it the natural way.
Screw that. No, you're not. You're sitting there not eating.
You never run. You've never even run for a bus.
Yeah.
People who just go, I'm doing it naturally, they stuff another bacon sandwich in their mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Just now, would like to come for lunch. No, I'm not hungry. Right, well, there we go.
Fatty's Little Helper, it's been dubbed, hasn't it?
Fatty's Little Helper?
Yes.
It's good for cakes because they've got a legitimate excuse to not want to eat food.
Right.
Which is nice, so that's good.
Of course, something that no one would know anything about here, so that's good. Yes. Well, there we go. Would anyone consider taking it? I mean, I think I might consider taking it. At the time we know, you obviously wouldn't ever need to.
Well, I really think that we need to... I think the gym idea is really good. I think that trying to have...
hours on a running machine compared to...
Well, just jabby jab.
Because the jabby jab...
Jabby jab, happy. Runny,
but
saddy.
no muscle.
Hey, that's the motto.
No muscle. No muscle tone.
Oh, gosh, right.
That is the issue, actually. Bingo wings.
Sorry, I've got to do a very quick whiz through of the front pages for Friday. These are Friday's front pages. The Metro, obviously, as we just spoke about there, have gone with the fat jabs story. We've also got the Daily Mail have gone with fat jabs. The Independent, the hug that tells Trump we've got Zelensky's back. There's a few that have gone for that. I think the best one, though, is the Daily Mirror and the Daily Express. They are VJ Day heroes, and we're going to be commemorating that tomorrow or later today if you're watching on Catch Up on GB News. Stay tuned.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. It's going to be much more settled during the next 24 hours. Showers and thunderstorms easing, mostly dry and hot again in the south, albeit cooler across northern parts of the UK, having seen some thundery showers developing through the day. They're tending to ease now as we head into the hours of darkness, and for most of the UK it's drier. Clear spells for many, but some areas of cloud around, particularly for northwest England, parts of North Wales, more especially northern and eastern Scotland, where there'll be some low cloud covering the hills and bringing misty conditions to the coast. A few spots of rain out of that cloud overnight, otherwise it's a fine start to Friday. A warm night and a warm start for the south in particular on Friday morning. Plenty of sunshine and temperatures soon rising up to 20 degrees in places by 7 or 8 a.m. Some areas of cloud around, but yeah, for many it is a bright start to the day. Northern Ireland seeing plenty of sunshine, likewise for the central belt. But for much of central Scotland into the east of Scotland, northeast England, we will see